here with Mr. Kevin Knight. Can you please introduce yourself, talk to the people? Just tell us.
Yeah, man. My name's Kevin Knight. I'm born in Frankfurt, Germany, military brat. Grew up mainly in Louisiana and Texas, and you're at Urban Camp Weekend. Literally, just so happened where we're sitting at, the first time we came camping was literally right there in this area, and it was just me, some friends, about 10 of us? It was about 10 of us. We came out, went camping, posted some pictures on social media. One thing led to another, it just got bigger and bigger. And then I finally thought, well, if I put a little more effort in organizing it, we could probably make it a bigger deal, and that's what ended up happening.
Since 2012, tell us what it's been like.
Man, it's been some good ups and downs. Like, for example, I don't know if you can hear the people in the background, but they're down at the river having a pool party right now, or a river party. But it's been, I'd like to say there was ups and downs, but it's been all ups. Like, it's just been good stuff, man. People coming out having a good time. Of course, you have to put out fires every now and then when you have thousands of people on one campground, but it's been amazing. You know, the feedback has been phenomenal. You know, I think, especially from the out-of-state people, the people that aren't from Texas, they're so surprised to see so many people just out having a good time, so many friendly people, especially the people that come from like the inner cities of different cities. I don't think they understand how nice people in Texas really are. And it's like one big family reunion. So it's fun. It's been all ups.
I think it's very important for people to smile and get around love. So with everything that's going on with this COVID, the Black Lives Matter, tell me what changes in your movement and trying to make sure that this goes well in the midst of all this.
Yeah, well, one, you have to realize you do have a platform. So whether you want to take a stand or not is up to you, but I realize we have a pretty big platform on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, Meetup. We're on all those platforms, right? And so we use those platforms to repost certain videos and certain images in the movement to let our people know and our platform know, like, this is real. You know, and at my age, I lived through the Rodney King phenomenon, right? And for those that don't know, Rodney King was the black man who got beat in LA and the cops got off and they were rioting, right? I was younger when that happened, but I was very cognizant of what's been going on. And that was my first kind of look at, I knew things weren't fair, but to see it on that level was major. Now, fast forward, everyone has a video camera in their pocket. So we're able to videotape what we already knew was going on in the community. Like, for example, personally, I probably get pulled over about twice a year for no reason, you know, and get asked questions for no reason. One guy was asking me, why do I have a baby seat in the back? I'm like, because I have a baby. Oh, well, where's the like questions that don't, it's ridiculous. But understanding the bigger picture and the platform that we have to spread the message, and we have to spread the message the right way. Because if not, you know, the news media is polarizing, right? I've been sitting at home for the last few months, watching stuff I wouldn't normally watch. So I'll spend an hour watching CNN, an hour watching Fox, an hour watching, and there's no overlap. The news is either far left, far right, and so it's like, well, what do you believe? And so you have to try to piece together these different messages and make sure that you're communicating as many factual statements as possible. I think a lot of people not of color think that the Black Lives Matter movement is kind of like overrated, or this can't really be happening. And some of the conversations I've had with some of my old corporate associates, you know, Kevin, we didn't really realize it was like that. And I said, I completely understand. You wouldn't. Because unless you hang around black people, or just you're randomly in a car with a black person that gets pulled over, or they don't allow your friend to get in just because he's black, you wouldn't have a reason to think that's even an issue. But that is an issue. And it's happened to me countless times, to the point to where you almost get numb to it, you know, unfortunately. And it wasn't until I was talking to my daughter's mother, and she kind of got a little emotional about everything going on. We're about the same age, and I'm thinking, well, why are you so bothered? Like, is this stuff new to you? And I didn't realize, like, the way she grew up, she was kind of shielded from racism a little bit. Meanwhile, me being in Louisiana, in the South, in Texas, I've been called the N-word more times than I could probably remember. So, to where you're numb to it. So But I found out that people are at different places in their life as far as how everything is hitting them all at once. And the older you get, the wiser you get, you start seeing the playbook. You know, you see the riots. Well, I've seen riots before. What happened after they rioted? Was anything really changed? You know, did that neighborhood ever recover? You know, a lot of questions, not many answers, you know. So what I can do to affect change is try to continue to bring our people together and try to preach economics, you know, from a supply and demand standpoint, businesses running our own businesses, and just creating that space where we can go out and just have a good time amongst ourselves. You know, I used to get flack from some of my white friends, like, well, why do you call it urban? Can I come? And I'm like, you can absolutely come. Well, urban sounds a little divisive. No, not really. It's just letting you know it's going to be a bunch of black people, period. The same conversation I have with my sponsors, the same conversations, like, it saves me time naming it urban, right? That way you can ignore my email from the jump, and I won't waste my time calling a bunch of sponsors 20 times. You know, right when you look at our page, okay, this is gonna be black. Blackity, black, black, black. Yes, it is. I'm happy about that, you know? And they're like, well, doesn't that limit, you know, the sponsorship? I don't care. you know? It's like, I don't do it for the money. I do it to bring all these people out having a good time. Friendships, marriages. I've seen a lot of stuff develop since, like I said, we officially probably 2012, but we were coming before that. You know, it just wasn't Urban Camp Weekend, it was just us coming to hang out. You know, so over a decade of bringing people together and watching these relationships grow on social media. Like, I know they met at my camping trip, and now they're in each other's weddings, or they're getting married, or, you know, they literally formed lifelong friendships. We have guys that turn this into their annual guys retreat, annual women's retreat. Like, everybody has their own reasons to come out here and have a good time, but they leave with more friends than they came with.
I know that's right.
That's a long answer for, I almost forgot the question.
I'm actually very glad you went off into it. You very rarely, on this Black Lives Matter note, and as someone I very can just tell you're successful in the endeavors what would you tell to some of these, because I think that as black people, we're such a small number in terms of people that are successful and willing to bring us. What would you say to the young African American males, females that are trying to become business owners and trying to throw events in this time?
I would say read. I think in this culture that we live in with social media, everything's in snippets, 15 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute. If it doesn't capture their attention in a minute, they let it go. You can't do that. The proof is in the proof is in the fine print, even in contracts, or even in like tax returns. All the information is in the footnote. The stuff that you don't want to read has all the information you need to read. But read, study your craft, and seek knowledge. I think there's a lot of people are afraid to ask for help because their ego, they want to just do it themselves, or they don't know who to ask. But Google, research, ask questions, and limit your excuses. Like, I mean, I think we find barriers and hurdles that don't really exist. But literally, if you look at 24 hours in a day and you sleep for 8 of them, you eat, shower, do all that stuff for a couple hours of your day, you still have at least 4, 5, 6 hours unaccounted for. And so if I ask you, what did you do from 12 to 12 for 24 hours, and you actually thought about it, you'd probably find 3 or 4 hours where you just kind of tricked off. And you could have been reading something on your phone to help you perfect your craft. You do that for an hour a day for 30 days, like that's darn near a college course. There's not going to be, we live in a world where they can't teach you this in school. They can't teach you some of this in school. They can't teach you Instagram, Snapchat promotions in college. How? Whatever they teach you in college is outdated by the time you graduate, because we're in a world that moves fast. So you have to be self-taught. The stuff that you do behind the lens, you can go to a school for some of this, and then there's certain tricks that you could show the teacher that they didn't know, because they've been out of the game for years and they've just been teaching. They're not doing, you're doing. You see what I'm saying? So some of this stuff is just trial and error. But if you just keep doing it, you'll perfect it.
Well, on behalf of Original Productions, I want to say thank you. I'm sure on behalf of everybody that's out there at that river turning up right now, thank you for providing this.
Yeah.
On to a little tangent, COVID-19. How will you change? What's some advice you have for others to get through this time? It's such a time where it's pandemic, people don't know what to do. What's your spin on it?
My spin on it's tough because I travel a lot and it's different everywhere I go, right? So like even between Houston and Dallas, the way that they socially distance, night and day. Dallas, they socially distance. Houston, they stopped that a month ago. You drive around Houston, it's turn up, party. You know, it's they're kicking it. But since January 1 till middle March, I've been to Ghana for our Afrochella event. I've been to Canada for a ski trip, Aruba, New Orleans for Mardi Gras, went to a cruise, went to Miami for Super Bowl, we went to the game. Then me, my daughter, and mother went to, we drove to Florida to go to this, all in the first 3 months of this year. I've been to LA during this pandemic. Now, it didn't start getting taken seriously, I think, until about middle March, toward the end of March, where people were like, hey, you might want to sit down somewhere. And of course we did, because I have a 20-month-old at home, so I don't want to expose her. Like even after this trip, I have to quarantine myself. So this will be the longest time I'm away from my daughter.
Appreciate it. That's big. That says the commitment that I think you have to, everybody here. Because I think, what will some of these people do without this event? You know what I mean? Some of these people have been in the house for 2 weeks. And the fact that you're willing to come out and still be a part of this and make this thing happen, I think preaches to who you are and what it is you do. So thank you again on that. Another note, on a little bit more uppity scale, your vendors, getting these guys to come support and talk to us about.
One thing we like with our vendors, so we don't charge a vendor fee. What we do is, if you help us promote the event, we waive your vendor fee. So you're here for free. By support, I mean, if you have an Instagram page, shout us out on Instagram. Shout us out on Facebook. Once or twice. That's your fee, that's it. Come make some money. If you sell a product that people want, they'll buy it. If not, thank you for supporting. But I want, like, venues that charge vendor fees, I understand why they do it, but they're doing it for money, and that's cool. But I don't want to be that other hurdle in front of a black business when I don't have to be. It's tough enough for us to get loans. We don't get loans. We don't traditionally get a lot of stuff that other businesses get. And that's fine. We have to work a little harder. Cool, no problem. But I'm not going to throw that hurdle in front and say, hey, I need $500 for this. Now, if you call me the day of the event and you haven't helped us promote or anything like that, then I may say, all right, give us $100 setup charge or something. But for the most part, 99.9% of all vendors, matter of fact, I can't think of one that had to pay. And so just come out, set up. I let them set up wherever they want to set up. That's not in the way. Sell your items.
You're gonna be hearing from me and Courtney back here shortly.
Okay.
Some vendors we can help with. Talk to me about your sponsors. You see, you got Kind Bars back there. You got Red Bull.
These guys have been around for a while. Kind Bars, Red Bull, Hoist. They do an amazing job of supporting us. They've always given us product support. The staff has been amazing. And it's stuff that we need out here. I mean, as you can see, I'm not just drinking this just to drink it. Like it's actually pretty good. And these aren't like the cheapest of drinks. I think money sometimes. I'm thinking, wow, they gave us a lot of product, but that's how much they care about us. They brought like an 18-wheeler out here one time, just full of product. And so, but no, like Red Bull, Hoist, Kind Bars, they've been amazing. And we're always looking for more sponsors, but I like the ones we have right now.
Well, Mr. Knight, we got a river party to get to. We got a comedy show. We got a party tonight.
Yeah.
In closing, what do you want to tell these people before you get your butt out there and get a tan?
What I want to tell them, take care of your mental health right now. It's a lot. It's a lot for people to people are losing jobs. There are some industries that will not recover. Period. They're not going to recover. They're not going to come back. Being a single father with a daughter at home, but I have a good support system. But I can't imagine having a regular 9-to-5 job or losing a job and then your kid's out of school because school's out because of COVID-19. There's a lot of people, we're having fun right now, but there's a lot of people that aren't having fun right now, and they won't for a while. So we have to keep that in mind. At the same time, I want people to get rid of some of their stress and go out and have fun and have a good time. But we're in a serious, we're in a very important part of history right now that we're gonna have to explain to our kids and young people about. So it's definitely like, it's, you know, my big message is go out and have fun, enjoy life. My other message is take care of your mental health, because it's real, and not everyone's mentally, I don't want to say mentally tough, because that means that some people are mentally weak. Not everyone is, I don't know the politically correct way to say it, but sometimes people need people to talk to, and not everyone has someone to talk to. Find someone to talk to, open up, and let that stuff out, you know? And especially for African Americans, I think we feel like it's not macho to go seek help, or like, I can figure this out, tough it out. It's not about toughing it out, it's about seeking help and just talking to the right people, because everybody needs a little pick-me-up sometimes. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Kevin Knight, Urban Camp Weekend, summer 2020. Big shout out to everyone who came out, supported us, braved the temperatures, braved the climate that we're in. Special shout out to my sponsors. We got Red Bull, Hoy's, Kind Bars, and everyone that's supported us from day one. Love you guys. See you next year.